My name's Sean Taylor. I'm president here at Liverpool Guild of Students.
My name is Ananda and Oba. I'm the deputy president for the Liverpool Guild of Students.
I'm Ananda. I'm the vice president here at the Guild.
What was it that made you to, take the leap and, start a campaign? And what was that process as well, and of, leading up to it, thinking, do I, don't I? Was it sort of like left to the last minute, or did you always know from the sort of the beginning of that year before your campaign that this is what you wanted to do or run for?
I had a housemate when I was in second year, and he was in his final year, and he basically didn't have a clue what he was going to do. So he was like, "Oh, there's this thing, the guild thing. Why don't I just go for it?" And I was like, "Yes, Sam, I'll help you out. Help out campaign." And he came fifth without actually a lot of effort.
Okay.
And we were like, "Could do that again." Yeah. And we thought, do you know what? That's quite sad.
What? So it was like the thrill of the campaign, in a way, like the.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was interesting. I quite liked the politics and counting votes and tactics and coming up with policies. And so the next year, when it came round again, I was like, do you know what? I've seen how it works. I've seen the people who do the job. It looks like a really interesting thing to do. I quite like the idea of representing people and getting a feel for what different people think about different things. I thought, yeah, do you know what? I can do that. So then I did.
That's fair enough. I mean, Oba?
But yeah, so I ran an event down in the cellar literally as soon as it opened. So I moved over from the night I was doing in Hebe's over to the cellar. And through that, working with the student team, you kind of realise what it's all about. And I met Alex Ferguson, because he took a bit of a keen interest in what it is we were doing. And just through conversations with him, I found out what officers did.
He was the vice president while we were students.
Yeah, he was a good guy, and kind of bigged up the job quite a lot. You kind of see it made me see the kind of autonomy that officers have. And then in terms of actually making a difference at the age we're at, there's not that many opportunities that you get to do that. So that was probably the main driver for me.
Similar to Sean, I was excited, wanted to make a change, do stuff. But I have to really credit like Harry Anderson, Laura Goodwin-Alton from the Guild. A few people who really sort of went, you know what, go for it, do this kind of thing.
No, Laura was someone who said to me I should do it as well.
No one told me.
All of the prospective SO officers now are going through their campaigns. What was that sort of process like? And when you're involved in it, how does it feel? And what do you decide on? Oh, this is the way I'm going to go about it, and these are the policies I'm going to go with.
We were just looking out the window at some candidates trying to canvass voters. I'm so stood in the cold, getting told that people aren't interested, and it's so.
Yes, talking about first year as well. Everyone apart from Rory, this is their first time doing it. A lot of them asked us for tips and such, but everything's completely unknown. When you go somewhere, you don't know whether that's going to convert into votes. When you talk to a big group, I know people are doing lecture shouts this year, but all of your campaign tactics are an unknown quantity.
Do you think, particularly in first year, maybe not so much in the second election, but do you think in the first year it's very much, I don't want to say popularity contest, but do you think a lot of that does come into it in terms of that can play a more important role than, say, the policies of the individual?
So yeah, I did think that until Ananda got in. Completely reversed the way I
It's alright, I got it.
No, you got us too now.
You got two friends from it was worth it.
No, it's so yeah. I mean, if I can answer a bit of that question. Yeah. So the first time and the second time, like they all said, completely different. First one, policies were difficult for me. Not difficult as in the way I went about it wasn't like the usual crowd. Like people would ask me, "What do you think is important?" I just went, "These are the three things I find is really important that I want to see change." And I just thought, if I bring that passion to the game, that's going to get people. I thought that was how policy would work. Do you know?
I think you made two different points there, and I think the second one is why people voted for you, and the first one's not. So I think people thought you were passionate and they liked your personality. I don't think people cared necessarily what those three things were.
Let's put it back on to there's going to be 3 new members of the student officers team, possibly. Could be 4 new. Yeah, at least 3. There could be 4. What will those people who are coming to the job for the first time be feeling when that result comes out in their favour? What is that feeling?
The best feeling.
Is it a lot of relief?
Yeah.
Would you say?
It's a mixture of, the second year was pure relief. That was it.
Almost because it's like you say, you're worried about your job. You know, this is your job. This is your plans.
Comes off your back.
Your social life, your friends, everything.
So, do you think when you say your target's off your back, do you think when you are running for re-election, people are trying to catch you out? Do you think that does happen?
Every person, every other candidate, at some point came up to me and said something along the lines of, "Oh, you're already guaranteed to get back in," or "You 3 are already definitely getting back in. We're all fighting for this one position," and that really plays on the whole time when you know there's no.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was a bit different from these guys. I don't know. Maybe it's just I had a different experience. When I was running a re-election campaign, I had people telling me I wasn't going to get in. Like they was
that you wasn't going to get in.
I was not. So they kept. No, as in, I know you guys might sound this.
Was it easy? Yeah. And they were next year.
The thing is, like, they came up to me being like, "The 2 of them are going to get re-elected. You, I'm not sure."
But how must that? How must that make you feel?
That's just not what I heard at all. I heard, oh, you might not get in actually. Sorry, we did. But I never heard that you wouldn't.
So, like, I don't know why. Maybe they were doing some sort of psychological warfare. But they came up to the weird.
What, the candidates?
Some of the candidates, some people came up to me and went, "Yeah, you know," they checked me and be like, "Oh yeah, you know, you were doing this thing, and yeah, it's great. I hope you win." So but you know, among the 3 of you, I think it's those 2. I'm not sure.
Why? Well, I can't think of the process of going up to someone and saying like, "Oh, well, you know, those 2 done a really good job. You've done all right, but you're, yeah."
It's a no from me.
It was really weird, and it got a bit frustrating.
Do you think that's when it put the sort of reality in perspective into what the job actually entails? That people are out there judging almost everything you're doing in a way.
It was complete. I don't like some of them when that comment came. Some of them really just, I don't know what, they clearly didn't know what they're talking about because they were going like.
Well, they were wrong as well.
They were wrong, and yeah, so. But yeah, it was just sort of that. It pissed me off to no end. The fact that it wasn't the fact. It was nothing. It was just a statement based on nothing because they didn't know who I was. They didn't know what the work I've done because they didn't quote anything that I did. They just said I was not likely to be elected. They didn't say that I did a bad job. That's where I really went. How do you know this? How are you so certain?
What are you making that judgment on then? If it's
and you know.
You've really taken that.
I took it personally.
Yeah. Well, you would. Yeah. Of course you would.
You won't get it. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll show you what I can do. Yeah, it was really weird because my decision to rerun flipped back and forth because I started off being like, yeah, this is something I want to do. Throughout the job, these guys know I had issues, and then I went, no. I don't know why they keep laughing at it. I honestly was like, no. And then, just like,
he was always rerunning. He was the first.
And then
he was never.
Ananda was rerunning from first
since college. Since he had that job in college, he was always going to go for 2 years.
And was that a conversation that you had a lot in the office then?
Yes.
Every day Ananda would come and tell us he wasn't running. We'd go, okay, Ananda, sound, yeah.
There was a conversation in November, and he and I both said we'd rerun. Yasmin, who was the 4th person in the team at that time, she said she wasn't going to rerun. And Ananda was like, ooh. And then he'd come in and go, yeah, guys, it's not for me. And we're like, you're out campaigning. You know you've got leaflets.
that there was a constant fear of us losing the jobs. Like, I'll tell you, like, you know, we talked about it being like every night last year, we were here till 11 midnight, till it closed. And even then, like, these guys would continue to go out campaigning, you know. It was something that it was a real fear in the second year. The first year, even though I did as much as I could, I didn't do as much as I did in the second year.
Yeah, and because it's the unknown, and obviously it's a more of a, I wouldn't say embarrassment, but it's a more of a statement if you go to rerun and then you possibly don't get back in, as opposed to running and not getting in because you haven't already got that.
You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. First year you could just have fun.
First year was
I
just
really
fun.
look back on it, and you kind of get ideas as you go along. You buzz off people when they haven't met you, and they're like, "Oh, I voted for you. I read your manifesto." Or it's like, "Oh, I talked to one of your campaign." You get all that stuff. Second year, you're just okay. Thank you for voting for me.
And second, just like, what are they doing? What's happening? They've made a video. Are they? Wait, oh no, I haven't done a video. Oh, yeah, it's all that paranoia. Yeah.
So you've all been in for will be 2 years. If you have to choose, I know. If you have to choose one sort of project or thing you've worked on that is your standout sort of, this encompasses my 2 years. You have to choose one. What would that project be?
So for me, it's funny because I suppose there's the manifestos. There's different parts of your job, and there's the manifesto points and they take up like 20% of your job. Like, there's lots of, particularly for the president, keeping the guild running and, keeping the direction of the organisation set. There's lots and lots of being the representative to the university. That's the biggest part. And so there's things through that I really enjoy. And then there's the unexpected things that come up. And of those, the NSS boycott campaign in our first year was huge. I think it really led to people knowing more about the guild. I think it saw hugely increased student officer turnout because people were more politically engaged. And I was really proud of the impact that had locally and nationally. Whereas the things I've done in my manifesto are either they're all on track or completed. Some of them are really quick fixes. Some of them, like the academic advisors stuff and the rooftop bar plans, are longer term, like legacy projects. So we'll get to see them.
Yeah.
I'll come back in a few years and go, I started that. So, yeah, I don't know if I get the reward for that and the pride until later.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to similar. I mean, I've had campaigns where I'm proud of, like Find Your Happy Place, just some of the stuff that I'm passionate about, housing, getting the word out there. But also some of the stuff that came on the fly, like academic code of practices, stuff that if I started talking, people would see. But it's those changes that I saw, real change. But it was nothing in my manifesto. It just came on the desk and it was like, okay, you stick your hands in it, just see what gets done.
Yeah, so similar. A lot of my manifesto was just checking stuff either through committees, timetabling based stuff. I did have one big ticket item for my last manifesto, which disappointing I couldn't make the progress I wanted to, or just for all sorts of technical reasons, which was to do with sponsoring societies and sports clubs. But off the back of that idea, which I started last year, I'm really proud of, and I'm really excited to see the way it develops, is something called Guild Spirit, which I managed to launch last month, which is an accreditation scheme for all societies where they can get into it, and there's all sorts of weird, wonderful prizes they can win by demonstrating how much they live up to the guild values, essentially. Hopefully, as that initiative moves on, gets bigger, gets more and more societies involved, there can be a real buzz about that, especially because it's linked to guild awards. So if I'm going to name one thing, I'd say that thing is going to be the thing I'll be checking on the website to see how it's getting on.
But come on to the two final questions now. The first one that I'm quite interested in is, are there any hidden perks to the job that most people won't get to see?
Yeah.
Can you outline any?
You will save a ton on food shopping. So what happens is in meetings a lot of the time there's food provided, lots of our board meetings have them, there's loads of biscuits provided at tea. Biggest serious perk that isn't properly advertised is the people you meet. So you make so many contacts and it's such an excellent network.
Yeah.
And the job is an excuse to speak to almost anyone. And then you're in and you chat, and it's really useful. And you meet really interesting people.
I realised really early on, the general vibe of working in a students' union and working on a university campus is fantastic, right? I had a few jobs before this one, just like working in retail in town, where there's a different mentality among staff and stuff. Like I got on with everyone great, but there's real camaraderie between the people in this union, everything from our social enterprise team, which run our events and commercial services, to the finance department. Everyone's really, you see on a week like election week how much everyone's pulling from the same direction. And then just generally set up working in somewhere which has a shop, having a subway nearby, and just general load of amenities. My gym is next door to my office. I haven't been since last August.
It's there. I can tell you, it's definitely there.
And in terms of like benefits that we didn't, like actual tangible benefits that I didn't know about before starting the job, is that we get a discount at that gym. We're part of a discount scheme in town and stuff like that. There's
cheap parking. Drive.
So there's a bunch of stuff we get because we get the same benefits as the university staff, essentially. That's as part of the agreement.
We're not in their pension scheme then.
That's very important to point out right now. And then final question, the SO officers that might be watching this, or the potential SO officers, what words of wisdom would you give to them?
Candidates, or if they...
No, if they get into the role, so if they're successful.
Or, like, you have no time. Like, as in, 2 years if you're lucky, 1 year is just not enough time. So, make the most of every day, and set yourself simple goals, and have fun. It's so corny, but it's so much fun, so make the most of it.
I'd have to go and get to know your fellow officers. They're your support structure. They're the people that keep you going. Honestly, like this job
as you can see.
As you can see, from personal experience, like this job can and will get you down at certain points. And you know, it's good to know that these other people are there with you. There's other people that support you. You can share the workload. That just changes the entire experience.
Mine's kind of dark, like Ananda's. It's probably my best piece of advice would probably be
mine's just that fun.
Find ways to keep your confidence up, because this is a job that will test it, because there's so many different facets to it, and you're not going to be great at everything straight away, and that's fine. You've got time to become great at the things you need to become great at, and you will, because it took certain character and it took a certain type of person to get into the job in the first place. But it's easy, and I see it at NUS things. You see a certain type of officer, and this job has kind of broken parts of it.
They come out a different person.
But, it's just kind of keeping in touch, and it's about having a great officer team. It's about having a great staff team to remind you about stuff and to support you through stuff.
You do quickly learn 2 lessons of you're not great at everything and you can't do everything.
Yeah.
If you can just accept those 2 things, then I think it's really easy to have fun.
Okay, well, there you have it. That is the insight into the life of an SO officer. If you have enjoyed this video, please do subscribe and like for more videos like this. And from the departing team, goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Thank you very much.
Please come to my events.